Good morning and welcome to another edition of Roadhouse Last Call, morning show that tells you about the morning, evening, suches and whatnots. This morning we have the Bender, we have the Stockington, and yeah, that's what we got. Bender had quite the adventure yesterday. Bender, would you care to tell us about your goats?
What would you like me to tell? I don't even. We didn't get them. My wife picked them up at like 8 o'clock, and I was over there working on trying to provide some sort of shelter. Um, so she didn't even show. Like it was dark. She showed up at about 9 o'clock with them in the horse trailer, and we had to unload them. Which I have this, my first attempt at this. I tell you, when you're pulling them out of the trailer by their legs, they they scream like you're holding a knife, just stabbing them, and then
Mm-hmm.
like they sound like they are literally dying. And then
Mm-hmm.
you throw them on the ground in the pen, and they just get up and they're like, "Oh, never mind. I guess I'm fine."
Never mind. Yeah,
Yeah, they're a little dramatic.
they're very dramatic. They're spiteful too. They have incredible memories.
Fantastic.
Um, they are quite spiteful. It's like just be aware they will come and ram you when your back is turned. It will happen.
Great.
Your back will be turned, and you will go ahead and get a horn. Best defense: grab the horn. Grab the horn.
Yeah.
Horn is your friend. You grab that thing, and you keep on moving them back, moving them back, moving them back. Do not turn your back on the little
So she
bastards.
wants to get this. She wants to this morning. Now she wants to go get this puppy that
Oh yeah.
apparently there's this breed that uh, they're literally just bred as not family pets. They're bred as protect the herd. You
Guardian dog. What are they? Great Pyrenees? Is that?
No, I'll have to get the name. I don't remember exactly what it was, but uh, she wants to just put this dog that will just live with the goats and protect them from coyotes or you know whatever else.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah. No.
I don't know about that. She's like, no,
You have a few critters. You have a few critters out there that'll get after your goats.
you know,
There's no doubt about that. Yeah, look, it's like the dogs that don't know family life, as far as you like being in a house with family, all that kind of stuff. It's like not necessarily that they're missing out from that whole thing, but it's like the shelter that you need to build for that thing or have for the pup is yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that I could do that, but I get why people do that. I think it's all just kind of how you view what a pup is at the end of the day.
well, and that's the thing, right? We won't, we've had a couple dogs. They've all been family dogs. They live in the house. Uh, so the concept of like we don't even live on the property, right? It's a couple
Hmm.
miles away. So the idea that we're just gonna get this dog and leave it out there um, is interesting.
Yeah, that's don't know that I could do that, but it's not my world. So I wish you the best, buddy, on your farming adventures. I think this is great. I think it's good.
It's something.
All right, let's talk about what we need to talk about. Disney reported very well, overtaking Netflix. They did, however, lower guidance, just like every other company out there regarding their subscribers out to 2024. They lowered those estimates. Seems like every company out there is lowering expectation, lowering expectation, lowering expectation. That continues to be the theme. Data yesterday that we got, again, trending in the right direction. Even though food costs are up, the relief that has been seen in crude is kind of trickling back down and through. And I guess the overall bets as far as what the rate increase will be in September dropped from 0.75 to zero point 0.5 is what the market is now kind of pricing in and expecting. The day-to-day that came out today kind of reinforces that sentiment, whether it be right, wrong, or otherwise. Again, trending in the right direction, but a lot of this stuff is based on crude. A lot of the data that is coming out, because we're not necessarily seeing that through line coming across in food prices or other consumer items. Crude is basically trigger at this point. So if we get a pop in crude, that could in theory wreck these numbers that are being put out there as far as inflation pulling back. However, if crude continues to pull back, we have a real chance and opportunity to really chip away at that massive, multi-decade high inflation level. So that's kind of what we're staring down. Flow yesterday, I will say, it was mixed to bullish. There are a lot of really great bullish lines, a lot of very curious bearish lines, but I think if we are, as we are now doing, entering a bull market now in the NASDAQ, we have to be aware that some of these bear lines out there may in fact just be hedges. We have to constantly reevaluate how we're looking at flow based on the environment. And so the environment right now is saying risk on. We can see that in Bitcoin. Now, are things approaching levels of resistance? Sure. But just like support is meant to be broken in a bear market, resistance is meant to be shattered in a bull market. So headlines say we're bull market in the NASDAQ. That's what the headlines say. That's where we're at. That's where we're going. Or that's where it's being said that we are going. So we have to shift our mindset a little bit to understand the environment and the trade that is currently being put on. To not do that puts us in jeopardy, and we do not want to be in jeopardy. Bender, tell me about your lines. Tell me what you see. Tell me where we're going.
Sorry, I was thinking, you said Jeopardy a couple times. I'm like, yeah, Jeopardy. I never watched that, never really got into it.
I never did either. I couldn't get a lot of the answers right. I was like, wow, these people are really, really smart,
Yeah,
or either that or I'm
feel really dumb.
really dumb.
I'm like, how do these people know this shit? Jesus.
I would only get excited when sports questions popped up on the deal, because I can answer the sports questions. It's like I was great on those, but everything else, I'm just like, I don't know. I have no idea who these people are or what's going on.
All right. As far as levels go, yesterday the kind of the key area that I said to overtake to be able to move higher on the day after that gap was 4220, and that was based on a couple of trend lines that I have. 4220 to 4225 was kind of what I put out. Well, now we are another day forward, and that target becomes 4250. And 4250 for a couple of reasons. I've got the midpoint of the up channel that we're in comes in right around 4250, and there's two fibs that come together at 4246.75. And as we know, when you get two fibs that line up, that can be that can be a strong level of resistance. So right now we're sitting at 4244, and we have those two fibs 4246.75, and then the midpoint of this up channel 4250. So that area is going to tell the story. If we get above it, and we get cooking, then we would be above that 4250. So you've got 4258 as a level of interest. I'll put it that way, and 4270 previous resistance. As far as levels below, if we pull back, 4225 previous resistance, and also the 10 MA on the 60 minute. 4217 is the 20. And then there's a fib at 4210 and a fib, obviously, you got the 4200 whole number and a fib at 4187. I will post the chart just so we're all on the same page as far as those trend lines and whatnot. But that's what I'm looking at.
Very good. Ackington, what do you have over there, buddy?
Hello, good morning. Sounds like we don't have Ken Jennings, the trader, in here, but let's see what we got on the charts.
Who?
Ken Jennings, the Jeopardy guy.
He's
Man.
just way the
Okay.
fuck over our head, Billy. He's so far over our head. Just so it's like we live in like such
You're one of
different
those
universes
people.
from this cat.
I mean, I thought everybody knew that guy. He's like the freaking. All right,
I know
whatever.
what he looks like. I didn't know his name. Could have been Wheel of Winnings.
I'm very
Man.
happy that I don't know anything about any of this. It's like I feel good. Thank you for making me feel better this morning, there, Stockington. I appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm here for, I think. All right, levels.
We losing?
He's talking.
So, yep, I'm here. Roku daily inside bar already broke above yesterday's high. So I had this line above from the day before up at 82.6. So we'll see what happens if we get there. Can add a line here at 81.65 if we were looking, that was yesterday's high, so that could potentially be a very aggressive short. 80.50 looks important over the last couple days. We want to see what happens there on Roku. Moderna, also daily inside bar. Yesterday's upper orb would be my call trigger, 176.75. And then I had a line to the downside, 171.95. Pretty much the only flow we saw in Moderna yesterday was 160 puts out to next week, but those guys are going to be red at open, so kind of just going to see what we get. We've got AMD here on the list. AMD, I've got a line above 100.95 and 99.1 potentially to the downside if we were to go down on AMD. A couple other things that I noticed just kind of like as a macro technical perspective. I'll just throw in here. I don't know, you may or may have not noticed. I do not talk politics here in the room. It's just me. But if you feel the need to, I would take it to the basement, or at least, be respectful after hours if you need to do it. We're all on the same team. But here's a blank SPY chart. There's a possible abandoned baby there. Not exactly, but Roe v. Wade, whatever you want to do with that. But yeah, it doesn't have the exact setup. We would use a bearish one would have a green candle going into the day before, but there's SPY, just a blank chart. The other technical piece that I would note that VIX is high, time to buy. VIX is low, look out below. So when the VIX was above 30, just as a reference point, Apple was at like $130 a share. And now that VIX is below 20, Apple's at 160. So I don't know. Take that however you will. We'll just trade the charts. But that was something that Aggie Man pointed out yesterday. So it just kind of stuck in my mind. But that's all I got.
Oh, no, that's I'm surprised you didn't want to show us the rising wedge with multiple gaps over there. I'm surprised.
Oh yeah, well,
you
scroll up.
didn't do that. Yeah, man, that was a very, very insightful breakdown there, Stockington. Interesting of you, new of you. I appreciate that of you.
Times.
Very nice. Very nice. I don't think you can hear me.
I got you. Yeah.
Anyways, and looking at everything from an overall perspective, we do, again, if we're looking at gaps, SPY has a gap on the daily going down to basically 412.75. We're going to put up another gap here this morning, basically to 420. We're going to have multiple gaps that are sitting here on fairly light volume and basically with a 10 point gap if you add the two, if not more, over there on SPY machine. I don't know how to play it. I know that the flow is not saying we're all going to die. as of yesterday. I have no idea how the flow is going to shake out today. This is all very, over the years, there's only been a handful of times that I really scratched my head in curiosity going, what the fuck is going on? This is one of those moments in time. So from my standpoint, I have to take a step back and away from my trading until I feel comfortable again. Because right now I don't feel comfortable. So I think it's fair that I put that out there. I think it's fair that people know that I do not feel comfortable in this current environment and this upswing that we've had. And I think it's fair that I put that out there from an expectation standpoint, and also from the standpoint that not every environment is ideal or perfect for somebody to trade. And it's okay to be like, you know what? I need a timeout. I need a second to reevaluate and to kind of really sort through things to get an understanding of them. I think that that's okay to do. And I think that shows, if positioned the right way and positioned the right way, it is a healthy position to take, being like, you know what, maybe this isn't for me right now. But like from the standpoint of this little period of time, these couple of days, whatever we're saying, it just isn't, it's okay to take a step back. In order to be at our best while trading, we have to feel comfortable with the dynamics that are in front of us. If we do not feel comfortable, it's very difficult to get on that roll because you're constantly second guessing, constantly putting yourself through a mental cycle that you shouldn't necessarily do, that is not conducive to maximum output. Right now, that's where I find myself. I have no shame in saying it. I've had a hell of a run over the last month and a half. I'm very comfortable at this point in time being like, you know what? I'm going to let this settle. I have 2 gaps sitting on SPY. I have multiple gaps sitting on mega caps. I'm going to let this thing kind of sort and consolidate this move a little bit before I make a decision to fling capital in one direction or the other. That's where I'm at. I think, once again, I think that the one thing that I will always do within the walls of this interweb room is be transparent with what I think, see, and feel. I will always do that. With that being said, Ender, do you have anything else for the people?
No, well said. I think, man, yesterday we've had honestly a couple days now that has been really difficult just because it's been such a tight range, right? And yesterday they didn't give us, after the gap, they didn't give us a ton to work with. We had a couple of trades that, I was, scraping, clawing, for a couple of points here and there. But it definitely not making it easy. We'll see what they give us today, but we just got to play the levels, and hopefully they give us a little more room. There were some great plays on individual tickers. Son, when you see stuff, keep putting it out there. I know I appreciate it. What did I take yesterday? I can't remember what the first one that you threw out that went up like 200% pretty quickly. Roblox. I played that one. I ended up playing that NVTA, but everybody just kind of keep your eyes open. If you see something, let us know. Not, we don't care about penny stocks so much, but if you see something interesting in the flow or a news item that we miss, let us know, because there are plays. Primarily my focus is staring at futures, and it just hasn't given us a ton the last couple days, so we'll keep at it.
And I think that thanks for bringing that up, Ender.
let's
It's
start
like
with
hat tip to Sonny. Appreciate you, man. You've thrown out some really great ideas and some really great tickers over the past several weeks, I would say. So I think it's I think it's appropriate to give the man a hat tip and say, good job there, Sonny. We appreciate you. All right, anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, we got 20 minutes until open. Sit back and, kind of put it together mentally and all that kind of good stuff. Get a game plan together, understanding where we are. Thank you again, Bender. Thank you again, Mr. Stockington. We will see you guys later. Thanks, folks.